This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without prejudice. Police of some BS. May God be with you.
Okay, I believe we are live once again. Another purge of the BS must begin. Thank you very much for tuning in. Another wonderful Thursday edition of Purge the BS, the podcast. So if you're brand new to the channel, you already know what to do. You're no stranger to YouTube. You hit the like button, you share, you jump in the chat, and we're going to talk about a couple of things today. We got the sacrificial scapegoat Diddy. Got his verdict yesterday. No sentencing, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment in a different way, because I think we need to have a conversation about it. But before we do get started, let me give some special shouts. Albon, IMZ, my super mods stopping in the chat to make sure everything goes well. And with that, we'll go ahead and start this thing off. Anybody got anything to say? Better not. All right. Let's purge. So guys, what we got today, I'm gonna blow your minds up first, then I'm gonna deflate them, then I'll blow them back up, okay? That's how we do here, okay? We're gonna blow you up, then we're gonna deflate, and we'll blow you up again, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here and enjoy the rest of our day. Because we, in the Purge Collective, as always, we got shit to do. So speaking of shit to do, I got to talk to y'all about a new show that I haven't had the privilege of watching a full episode yet. I've seen some clips. There's a show out now called Love Island. Now, before I step on to Love Island, let me just rewind the tape for a minute. Can anybody pinpoint exactly when TV and ideas for TV shows went totally left? Like when things just started getting crazy. I can tell you when it was. It was Love and Hip Hop. I blame Love and Hip Hop for everything. Before Love and Hip Hop, we had like Big Brother and what was the joint on MTV? I can't even think of it right now. We had Survivor. That was another reality sort of show. We had that one. I can't even think of the MTV one, but a bunch of people were on there. There was, you know, some scuffles, some fights, a couple of romantic interests. A lot happened on these shows. But during that time, I want to say that was the late 90s. It seems like everything started to take a twist into where reality became TV. So reality TV became our entertainment. So what would be perceived, let me say that, perceived as reality became what entertained us, instead of our own reality that we live in every day. So somewhere in there, our brains got a little bit twisted. We became more interested in seeing other people's lives than living our own lives. And because of that, it created this hole in entertainment where if it wasn't reality TV, nobody was watching. What do we do about that? Because what did happen was reality TV just got more and more debaucherous. I've seen one where a lady shot off a pistol in an argument. I don't know if it was a cap gun or what, but the point was she had it in her purse and she tried to make it seem like she was trying to do something. This is on TV over an argument. So this Love Island thing, like I said, I've heard it's a bunch of single people. They drop them on an island, and I guess they figure out who likes who and who's doing it to who, and then eventually people get kicked off. At least that's my thought. I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, I can't watch that kind of stuff no more. It fogs my brain. The creator who actually had made some claims about this Love Island show that I thought was really interesting. And I wanted y'all to share in this interest with me. So check this thing out right here. That's not the topic. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I got the wrong I got the text from last episode still sitting there. In a second. So I'm going to let you guys check this thing out, all right?
I guess I'm going to be the one to say it. The producers of Love Island are weird and freaky. We're mad at the participants for how they're acting, but we need to shift our anger to the producers. They're getting away with stuff that we would never let anybody else get away with because we're entertained and letting it slide. I'm going to break it down top to bottom. If I'm tripping, just say I'm tripping. All right? Lock in. They don't even give these people enough time to be shipped off to this island. They call them and go, yo, you got 48 hours to pack a bag to be gone for months. Okay, we're going to ship you off to an island you never heard of in the middle of nowhere. They find 20 freaked out individuals, put them on an island, a remote island that they never heard of outside of their country, and cut off all contact to the outside world. No phone, no internet, no books, no TV, no music, no video games, no movies, no nothing. Just a bunch of people on an island that they never met before, okay? There's no clocks on the island. There's no clocks in the villa. They don't know what time it is, what day it is, what week it is, what month it is. They're just living. The producers control the lights, and when they want everything to shut down, they just shut off all the lights. Everybody go to bed, we turn off everything. Everybody wake up, we turn on everything. You just got to do what we say. And on top of all this stuff, they got them all participating in mini freak-offs. You get the milk, put it in your mouth, gargle it, spit it into her mouth, spit it in a bucket and pour it on somebody else, and then lick it off. You get the peanut butter, slap it on his chest. Get the jelly, slap it on his chest. Eat the peanut butter jelly off his chest. You get in the closet.
I hope this is exaggerated. Has it gone this far? It probably has. You know what? I don't put nothing past y'all crazy asses at this point.
With him, okay? Kiss him, and then he finna kiss her, and then he finna get in the closet with her, kiss her. Everybody gonna kiss when we say kiss. The producers don't even care about the people on the island. One of them had a little sore, cold sore on his lip, the size of his bottom lip. We all saw it, okay? Instead of making him sit out for the day so it can clear up, they had him in the closet kissing all the girls. Everybody finna get HSV. We need to start thinking about what they're doing, okay? There's too much freakiness going on, and we're just letting it slide because, oh, it's entertaining, all right? They got cameras in the showers for what? They got cameras in the bedroom. These people are doing things with each other, and they're posting it on TV. Why? Why are there mics everywhere? Why do you have a mic around your neck like a collar? You ever wonder why they're so emotional when people get sent home? It's mini psychotic breakdowns in their minds. All this stuff is going on. And then somebody goes, yeah, you're leaving because America said so. America? We don't even know what they're talking about over there. But they're the one thinking to send us home like Sims? They're having mini psychotic breakdowns. They're eating bacon, egg, and cheese and avocado toast every day. Their stomachs are bubbling. And so are their minds. I'm telling you, something is going to happen with this show. Something big is going to happen. I'm just telling you. And it's going to change stuff. You're wondering why people are going on this show and coming home and offing themselves. Multiple people from this show have gone on this show, come on, seen the edit, seen the way the producers have edited them, seen the digital footprint, seen how people feel about them and they cyberbullying them and off themselves.
Okay, that's a side effect
In the meantime, I hope you have a
thought
wonderful
about.
day. You know, I love you and I'll see you tomorrow. But
Did he really just say, in the meantime, have a nice day? All right, so apparently this guy put up this first post and I guess he must have gone over some footage or something like that, but he ended up getting a flag, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. And it says, "Dear Sir or Madam, the site listed above, which appears to be on servers under your control, makes available material earned by ITV Broadcasting Limited." So basically, he got like a copyright strike over, I guess, a clip that he reviewed. But let you hear what was reviewed. Now, I'm going to pause for a second because I see some of y'all came in here and apparently y'all didn't hit the like button on the way. They didn't hit the like button on the way in. And we know that when you do that, disrespectful. Okay? So nonetheless, let me show you what the second piece was, because you know I'll be talking about stuff like this. But check this out.
Y'all see that? They got it. Yeah, they got it, y'all boys. I ain't going back and forth with them. They got a different type of money that I don't got. So when the big boys say you shut your mouth, You gotta know when to double down. Who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
You think you just threatened me?
Yeah.
On 22nd court, don't you ever try me like that. I ran out of time last video. That's why I didn't get to finish what I was saying. Yeah, but I got more time today. Lock in. We gonna start off with the editing process. All that manipulated editing they be doing. Leah said from last season, she got off the plane to go watch the show and recognized they was cutting up conversations in a way that they didn't happen. And I witnessed it myself. I'm watching the show and there's a girl on there who had braids. In the middle of the conversation, the braids disappeared. How is that possible? That lets me know y'all cutting up conversations and making people look a way that they don't look, or making them answer questions in a way that they didn't answer them. Then y'all got the nerve to put little disclaimers at the bottom of the TV. Please don't cyberbully the participants. Buddy, they're being cyberbullied because of you. Yeah, because of you. You're making them look like evil people when you're cutting up their conversations, and they're being surprised when they're being cyberbullied. It's on you, buddy. Even the voting system is weird. America votes. You would think it would be the same time every single season. 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe the 10th episode. No. They wait till the chaos is at its highest. They wait till the drama's at its peak, and then they say, America, play ball. You get to choose what happens. These are not real people. These are characters. I know it's Love Island, and these people have been in love since the beginning of the show, but split them up for the heck of it. They're Sims right now. They're not real people. It's weird. They get no news updates over there. They had no idea we bombed Iran 3 times. They had no idea we had a ceasefire and canceled the ceasefire in 3 hours. They have no idea what's going on. Even the bombshell, they have them sit off isolated on an island somewhere, in a hotel with no nothing, so they can be prepared to be on the island. It's like being in jail and being prepared for prison. What is going on here? If
That's
they
a
have
good
conversations
question.
and they missed it or they didn't like the way it goes, they make them refilm the conversation. Weird. They have a bucket called the community bucket of clothing because they have to share clothes because they only give them 48 hours to get ready to go. Weird. Okay? There's so much going on in the show, I don't even know what's going on. Somebody in my comments said they had a Palestinian girl kissing an Israeli soldier. What is going on? Why are we acting like this is normal? Listen, the producers are very, very evil people. They're the main villains of this show. But I think I found the real deeper rooted problem that we all need to figure out. Some humans are willing to do too much and go too far for money, TV time, and attention. This show has been on for 10 full seasons plus.
Really?
You got to see how it went down. You got to understand everything. You got to know everything. And you still chose to go on the show. I'm not blaming you. I'm just questioning you. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day. You know I love you and I'll see you tomorrow. But if I don't...
All right, so apparently this is about the show Love Island. And special shouts to Grush Diva stopping in the chat. My man Al Bond in the chat as well. I am Z in the chat. And everybody else that's hanging out just watching. What's up to y'all? Now, the question was, is Love Island full-blown debauchery at this point? I can't watch shows like this because I live in reality. So reality TV, for me, isn't real because I know that there's scripts. I know it's like when you watch a movie, right? Unless they put the thing at the beginning of the movie that says based on true events or based on a real story or this is a documentation of a real story, you know going in that what you're watching is 100% false and entertainment. With reality TV, they give you the preposition of it being reality by saying reality TV, but it's not. It's really just scripted lives, if that makes sense. If you scripted a live stream and then kind of let certain things will naturally happen. Like if you get a person beefing with somebody else, eventually they're going to get to fighting. You don't have to script the fight per se, but you can kind of expect that after some time, you put enough people in a concentrated area, especially folks that don't know each other, and personalities get to bouncing and clashing off each other, and jealousy gets to moving around in the space. Satan is there, chilling, just looking for who he can take over in those kind of situations. So it's like the human element, when placed in a place with nothing, no news, no nothing, will still somehow resort to debauchery. That's what they're trying to get us to think. Instead of, you know, like every show, even when they drop like, was it Survivor or was it Naked? They do all this stuff, Naked and Afraid, Survivors, all this kind of stuff. And at the end of it, it always seems that people start having conflict, and they call it good for TV. So I didn't know Love Island has been on for 10 seasons. I thought it was a new show. I saw a commercial for it. I wasn't interested because I saw what the setup was. I don't like those setups. That's always wrong. There's always going to be a problem when you put a bunch of people in a place and start trying to like get them to mate. That's really what it is. You got cameras in the showers. You got cameras in the bedrooms. It's like Big Brother mixed with X videos at that point. And for me, that's a little creepy. I just feel like I'm being intrusive to a way, right? In a way. Even though I know a lot of it is what they call improv scripts. So they give you the setup and then they let you improv the setup. Like what the setting is, okay, we're in a bar. This person over here said something inappropriate. This person over here is ready to fight. This person is going to try to mitigate it. And then they say, go. And then the natural selection of humans takes you to full-blown debauchery. So if this show is what this guy is saying, and he also made a mention of some things moving and editing funny, which brings me to my other thought. What about the Transformers? What about Cybertron? What about the Alpha Indigo that we have? Generative Alpha Indigo now, where you don't even have to have a person do everything they do. You just get enough images of them and you can generate the entire scene. You can generate some debauchery. You can even generate a fight at this point. And you blur it out a little bit. You can't tell if it's really the people or not. To me, it's like a mind game. It's a total mind game because, first of all, how many people in this world, like, I don't know if anybody in this chat would do it, but would you go get dropped off on an island and be on the Love Island show? I wouldn't, but I know some people that would. You know what? Well, I can't say I would because I wouldn't qualify. I wouldn't qualify, understand? So I wouldn't qualify to be there. But I'm the type of person where if you offer some money up until the point where you say something crazy or you want me to do something crazy, we can negotiate. We can talk about this. Like if you say, all right, we're going to pay you $50 million. Continue. We need you to go out to an island. Okay. There's going to be some other people on that island. All right. You're going to be there for 6 months with no light and no food, and you got to survive with them. Whoa. See, you see what I'm saying? You get to a point, and you say, hold on a second now. What are we talking about? When these people go on Love Island, they've already gone through that conversation. They already know that it's about to be some debauchery. And they sign up for it. And then they put themselves in a situation where technology and editing can make them look a certain way, and then they come back to regular society and people can't stand them. And they don't even know why. Because they never saw the show actively while it was going on. They come back to the result of editing. And it messes up their head. Because in their minds, that wasn't real life to them. It was scripted. So now real people don't like you because of something you did that was scripted, that was phony. You're putting yourself in a position to get screwed. So I like this dude's take on it. I think that we have really started to go a little too far with reality TV. I really do. I think that we need to go back to the age of creativity when we came up with good shows, good writers, wasn't all this automated crap. To the point where we just have to put people in bad situations and hope somebody watches. It's kind of ridiculous to me. Like who's writing new movies? We got the same Marvel movies and whoever, it's all the same movies from when I was a kid. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make another reboot of Star Wars at this point. And that's the Al Bond, you're really hitting on something in the chat about what's next for TV is Alpha Indigo's taking over the TV. We don't need people. We can create some of the most crazy situations, and some folks don't know the difference. If you look at some of the stuff that's online today, I saw a video the other day, and I'm telling you, they got They got influencers that's not even real, that have hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're not even actual people. They're just generated people. And it's like folks, either they don't care or they can't fathom it, or I don't know. But where are we going? Like, what is this? Where we got even our reality shows are not even real people. We're editing our own lives into lives of others. Whatever these producers want is what these people become. You want this person to be the villain, you can cut a conversation all types of ways and create that. I think the only way out of this is if we stop supporting stuff like that. But I told you where it started. It started with Love and Hip Hop. We got Ashanti and Nelly right now. We had T.I. and his wife with their thing. I think Shaq's got one. Who else got one now? Is Dwayne Wade? Everybody wants to show off their IRL, their in real life thing. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but I think we need to be very mindful that the intention of the almighty creator was for us to have some privacy. Okay? Think about it. Years ago, stuff would happen. There was no footage of it. There was a memory in somebody's head. They could go to the grave with that information. They might have done something crazy at a party with a few people, and there was no footage of it. Hey, it just becomes, that's history. But now with the internet and with this new let's post everything, let's record everything culture, you can't live away nothing. You can't live nothing down no more. It's going to sit there. They got corn content, right? Pornographic content that has actors or performers in it who've already passed away. Like, to me, there's something creepy about that. Like, when the person in the video is no longer alive and you're just fapping around to it, it just seems creepy. It's like necrophilia or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, we're weird now. We are weird. That a show like this could get a budget and a bunch of people to get behind it, that's weird to me. Just like the one with the mothers and the sons, that was weird. All of it's weird to me now. They're all weird. And with this thing with Diddy, I'm just realizing the whole entertainment thing is weird. I guess you can't separate reality from entertainment in that world, and everybody becomes freaking weird and nasty and willing to do whatever they can possibly do to secure the bag. And that's just crazy, because I expect people to have higher standards for them. That's all I'm going to say. I expect people to have higher standards for themselves when it comes to what they put out on TV and the internet. That's literally how I feel. And I like to give people props where props is due. And I don't know this other person here, but something came to me today, and they were talking about we need to be more supportive of our, like, when people, American people, young people, do the right thing. Like when they're doing it big, as they would say. Hold on a second here. So I got to bring this little clip over for you. Oh, hold on a second, man. Did y'all hit the like button? Did y'all hit it? Rush Diva, I know you hit the getting better. So I wanted to take y'all into some, because this is what everybody's sort of trying to do. Kai Cenat, who I've mentioned a few times on this show, and his IRL content and the folks that he's dealing with, it's kind of like what reality TV is supposed to be. It's not fully scripted, any of the reality TV shows. There you go. But he gets in here and goes to this guy, Tony Parker's house. Now, when I heard Tony Parker, I thought he was talking about the basketball player, like the used to play for the Spurs. I don't think this is the basketball player. I don't know. Y'all might know who Tony. He could be congratulatory, but I want you to ask the question, is this too much? So let's see what we got here.
No, not the kitchen. Oh, but you gotta eat good. What? I don't think I've seen this ever in my life. We got a 24-hour man, 24-hour Nando's at the house.
Hey, any mains possible.
Any mains
That's
possible.
not crazy?
That's
Bro,
crazy.
listen,
Leave it alone.
Nando's.
bro. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
A sunset burger. Y'all remember?
Crazy.
I remember that.
Come on now.
Okay.
Bro, listen, think about it though.
Talk to me.
Like, boom, late night vibe, me, you,
Starving.
the guys,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We in the pool chilling.
Pause!
Me, just the bros.
This place at the pool?
Pause!
Just the bros.
Pause!
Oh, damn, we ain't even got to all
Hold on a second now. He really made an emphasis on saying just the guys, us the bros, just the... Whoa, bruh. Hold on a second now. What you trying to do up in Nando's? What is your goal here, sir? State your business. But I'm assuming this guy with the glasses is Tony Parker. Assuming. I don't know. I only know Kai Cenat in this shot. That's the only person I recognize. That's because I'm old. I'm out of touch. And important enough that he's got a Nando's restaurant in his kitchen at all times. 24 hours. I don't even know of any specific restaurant that I would want to be available in the house 24 hours a day. Because if I really, really like it, I'm going to eat too much of it. So that's dangerous. And if it's something that I'll get tired of, then it's pointless to have it. So as much as I like, let's say Panda Express, right? I can't eat Panda Express every day. And if I'm not eating it at least 2 to 3 times a week, then what's the point of having it down there in the kitchen? That's all I'm saying. So anyway. So I wanted to show y'all this because this is actually what reality TV is supposed to look like, but it's turned into what we call IRL streaming content. It's normally on Twitch. YouTube does allow us to do some IRL stuff, but they're very finicky about things that go on in the background, music, certain images, you know, alcohol. There's a lot of weird little quirks to the algorithm on the tube. So people go on Twitch, they do this thing, but I'm wondering, how do you make a bunch of money just being on Twitch? I'm on this show all the time, and we get super chats here and there, but I can't put no restaurant in my kitchen. So for me, I got to figure that one out. I don't necessarily have to put the restaurant in the kitchen. I just want to have the means to do so, if that makes sense. I don't need the restaurant in the kitchen, but I need a restaurant in the kitchen to be an option. Because that means that we're moving somewhere. We're doing something, right? So I'm not mad at all. I don't know who this guy is. So whatever he's doing something right. He seems to know Kai Cenat. And the funny part about this is Kai Cenat has brought all of these people together, right? All these streamers. He brought, a couple of streamers from Baltimore. There was Streamer University. So Kai Cenat's doing his thing. But what happens when you bring all these people together? They start beefing. Now, look, if you are a streamer, or maybe it is Tony. It is Tony Parker's house. Okay, cool. It is Tony Parker's house. So I guess this other guy must be Tony Parker's son, or what? I don't know. Okay, all right. As long as it was the real Tony Parker, the basketball Tony Parker. But nonetheless, like I said, this is what reality TV sort of wants to say that it is. It's just people walking around doing stuff. And that's the old, why can't I remember the show that started it all? Somebody in the chat, please tell me the show, because I know I'm gonna be pissed when I hear it, because it's probably very easy. The show that was on MTV that was the originator, like a comedian, there was like a cop in there. It was all these different folks in there. If I swear to God, I cannot remember the name of the show right now. And that was where it all started. Is it The Right Stuff? God, somebody, please. Real World. There you go. Real World. Road Rules came out later. I'm talking about the first one. The Real World. That was the one. That's what started all of this. And honestly, the Real World was actually kind of real. Like, at least it had a real feel to it. No disrespect to Kai Cenat and all of them guys, but I don't understand how they make so much money just existing and just being. You know, it's great that they're doing all this. No disrespect there, but their lives are just like anybody else's lives. And I don't mean at the end of it, there's always some beef. So I think maybe if we detached a little bit from that kind of stuff and started to focus a little bit more on our own lives and making them good enough that we get a Nando's in the damn kitchen. But granted, that wasn't NBA player's house. So most people ain't gonna have NBA player salary to get a Nando's put in the kitchen. But you get my point. The point is to have it as a goal. You don't necessarily have to reach a goal in order for the pursuit of it to, benefit you positively as you pursue it. So you can have an astronomical goal and you start going hard towards it. You may never actually reach the goal, but the stuff you'll be able to do along the way, because you're shooting for that astronomical goal, will also be important. So I get it, but why does Kai Cenat get to go to Tony Parker's house? Kai Cenat doesn't do nothing with sports. Him and Tony Parker, why? It's just who you know. So it's only interesting because they have nice houses to look at. The average person's house isn't really that nice. Not nice enough to put up on the internet and be like, yo, look at my kitchen. It's got an island in it. I got 3 stools that we sit on. We eat breakfast here. Look, I got my 4 cereals in the Tupperware. We got Lucky Charms. We got Reese's cereal. We got the Oreo cereal. You got to get the Oreo cereal. Like real world. There we go. That's what it is. It's MTV Cribs mixed with the real world is the IRL content. But now this reality TV thing, they're competing with this. And what they've decided is let's come up with some of the craziest ideas, the craziest stories, and then we can script it and we can now generate it. So it's a competition between the real people, the real world. You see what I'm saying? The competition between the real world and everybody else. Because we are the real world. The people in this chat, the people on this channel, we're the real world. Kai Cenat and them, they're just having fun living life. And somebody is behind that and supporting it. So I'm here for it. What is very interesting to me, though, is that we keep supporting these shows that are like really just killing relationships, 90-day fiancés and all that kind of stuff. It's stupid. Go get your own fiance. How the hell you watching 90-day fiancé? You in the house lonely as shit. Like, damn, he did it in 90 days. And then you know what happens? The lonely people, they sit there and like secretly want everything to go wrong for everybody who's on the TV show. That's really what it is. They just want everything to go wrong for those people. It's like they have this, I don't know, vendetta against people being happy. I've met people like this. I don't like them, tell you that. But it's like they see somebody doing okay, and the first thing they want to do is try to like tell you why it's not okay for them to be okay. Like, yeah, well, I know what they were doing. And da-da-da. They always talking some back, behind the scenes type of shit. They can't even really be verified. And it's really just because they're mad that they don't have these things. Whatever these things are, these things that people are showing off, they're just mad they don't have it. They're just mad they don't have it. Now, speaking of real life, because I'm done with this for a hot second. Because I want to bring you over some full-blown debauchery. Remember I said we blow you up, we get your head blown up, then we're going to deflate, then we're going to blow up again, okay? I want to get into our deflation. Bear with me just a moment. Let's see. Really gonna play? Oh, okay. Hold on, there's an ad running over here. So while the ad is running, I need y'all to hit the damn like button. Hit it. Hit the share thing too, whatever that does. thing don't work. You ever tried to share something on Facebook? It's like you get less views than just typing hello in that joint. I don't know what that's about. Facebook be like, you ain't gonna share your shit over here. All right, so guys, I need y'all to hear this because I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. That's why I'm glad that we waited this long to get here. Do you guys know who Lily Allen is? I know who Lily Phillips is. Lily Allen is a British pop star. And she was on a podcast and she made some very interesting statements. And I wanted y'all to hear it because I believe that this is all part of the problem. The devaluation of the actual human experience has created what we're about to hear here. Bear with me.
I've had a few abortions. I've had a few, but then again, I can't remember exactly how many.
What, really?
Yeah.
Why didn't this come up in last week's episode where we were just talking about abortions?
Because I was just letting you run with it.
Reveal everything.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think maybe like, I want to say 4 or 5.
Yeah, I've had about 5 too.
What?
Really, I'm so happy I can say that and you can say it. And
why are we
no one
happy we
came
can
to
say
shoot us
this?
down.
No. Hold on a second, guys. Wait a second. Wait. I'm gonna bring it back in case somebody just joined and missed it. But yes, Grush Diva, we are living in some type of weird ass utopian Matrix experiment.
Abortions. I've had a few, but then again, I can't remember exactly how many.
What, really?
Yeah.
Why didn't this come up in last week's episode where we were just talking about abortions?
So I was just letting you run with it.
Reveal everything.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think maybe like, I want to say 4 or 5.
Yeah, I've had about 5 too.
All
Really,
right.
I'm so happy I can say that and
All
you can
right.
say it and no one came to shoot us down.
Guys. I don't even know what to do with this right now. Hold on. All right. I can't. Here's the thing. Between the two of them, a whole basketball team went missing. A whole basketball team went missing between the two of them. And it was just a lackadaisical conversation like, what is going on? Folks, what the hell was that? Oh, yeah, me too, man. I just had one last week. What you talking about? Oh, you got Dr. Such and Such. Man, he is good. He gets it taken care of. He blows them candles out quick. What is wrong with us, man? Now, granted, that was probably British TV, on the BBC, which I'm sure the BBC understands that the term BBC means something totally different in other areas, which is why I refuse to put the BBC in my face too often. Because every time I see it, I'm like, don't they understand? Could someone let them know? And secondarily, how the hell they get to talk about that shit on BBC stuff? We can't say none of them words. I know I'm getting hit. That whole segment will not exist when this replays later. All because I let them say what they saying. Me personally, it's because I've never been in the position to need such a procedure done. There's different reasons for it. I need y'all to understand there's different reasons that things get done. The way that these women were talking was like it was just a convenience thing. You stop by CVS, you grab yourself a borscht, and you get up out of there. Is this what we were going for? Is this like the feminist movement? This is what it was? So we could eliminate a whole basketball team that never made it here? Between two women? I don't see nobody saying nothing about that shit. Everybody's talking about illegals and nah. First of all, it should be a limit to how many of those you can get done. Let's just start with that. If both of these women had 5 of those procedures done, and it was not medically needed, it was just, hey, I don't need this one this summer. I'm trying to hit Cancun or whatever, right? Maybe they should start there. Maybe not outlaw things, because it's going to be a fight as to, whether or not you can make the choice, but at least put a limit on it. Can we start there? I know somebody's body, their choice. I'm a man, can't say it, but I guarantee there's women that agree with me. I know a few that would not only agree to, let's put a limit on it, but let's be real about what we're allowing people to do. Let's just be real about it. Those women had no problem talking about that as if it was a regular thing to do on a Sunday. We have desensitized ourselves so much that that's the kind of conversations that we're having. Oh, it's crazy. Crazy. And Grush Diva, you make a very interesting point about, first it was an attack on Black America, because I was trying to tell them that America has moved on from Black people. And actually it started happening back in when 9/11 happened. Up until 9/11, Black people were the public enemy number one. Public enemy number one. It was Black people. There was crime bills. There was all this stuff going on. And then 9/11 happened, and all of a sudden, we were all Americans, and we had a shared enemy who was, at the time, perceived to be, Iran, Iraq, the Saudi Arabians, all them folks over there, right? And for a period of time, that's who we focused on. Nobody was worried about Black people. So then that turned into our southern border immigrants. Then the conversation shifted there. Then they started getting aid and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, America's moved on. That's why Trump is able to take these statues and stuff down and erase it all. They're moving on, man. Nobody want to hear that shit no more about Black America, because they offered us opportunity through certain things at times, such as affirmative action and to some degree certain DEI programs along the way. Right? And we squandered that shit. So you know what? They not worried about Black Americans no more. They worried about white and so on and so forth. No, it's not even that. Who can they get the most money out of? And that's it. That's all they care about. Like a battery. Who can they get the most out of? The Duracell Energizer, we're batteries. So you might be a Duracell, I might be an Energizer, they can get a lot out of us. But if you get one of them, dollar and send you on your way back to the street. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Male, I'm not supposed to be able to speak on this, but I'm a father and grandfather. None of my children have gone through that process, but I don't have all my children here, if that makes sense. Some of them are not alive anymore, but it wasn't because somebody made a choice to stop them from getting here. There's grief associated with the fact that you allow the person to arrive and then something happens. You take that chance anytime that you give birth to a child, that child might not outlive you, and you're going to have to deal with the grief of that. So aside from a medical situation where the mother's life is in danger, or maybe, the R word, those extreme situations, we get a limit of 2 for those that like to just do that. Can we just get 2 as the limit? Something, just at least humanize the unborn. Because I have people standing in front of me today that I watch come into this world as babies, and they're now in their 20s, and they have their own children, making me a grandfather. So that's a life to me. And I think that we deserve to give people a chance to live. I really do. I think anytime we're having a sideways conversation about getting 5 of your baby's candles blown out, like it ain't nothing, and you in your early 20s, so what are you doing? Show some discipline. Stop cracking your legs open and letting everybody shoot the club up, if that's what's going on. That's not really a child. Like, let's be real. You can say what you want. It's a ball of organs and all right. Well, if you don't fuck with it, it'll turn into a grown-ass person one day with its own children. And these are undeniable facts. So if we're not going to be real about the possibility that this could be the next president, then I don't want to hear nothing about it ain't nobody. This is somebody's possible future husband. This person could change the world, and you just offer them because you don't want to deal with the fact that they're going to fuck up your summertime hot girl summer or whatever. That is just horrible thinking. And as you can see from the clip, it ain't limited to color, folks. We like to say it's black women. No. Nope. They're not the only ones doing it, as you can see. So let's just stop that fucking conversation because that's stupid too. The problem is that people do not value the human life. Whether it's an infant, whether it's a grown person, whether it's an elderly person, the value of the human life has been diminished to the point where we don't mind watching somebody off somebody else on camera. We're watching the race for the crash. That's what reality TV is. We only watch reality TV looking for the fight. They didn't want the people on reality TV to be successful. They want them fighting. You know why they want them fighting? Because they're not satisfied with their own lives. If you're satisfied with your own life and you actually like your life and you like to live it and you like to do things with it, you're not going to watch much, if any, reality TV because your reality is your TV. Your reality is your entertainment. What you do in life is where you're getting entertainment from. You're not going to sit around and binge watch Love Island. You know why? Because you got shit to do. So if you're sitting around watching that, you're not doing shit. I promise you. I promise you. I don't even have to know you. If you're a binge watcher of reality TV, you don't get a lot done. If the TV is constantly on around you, you're only doing so much. Because you're always waiting to be entertained instead of creating the entertainment. Make your own memories instead of watching the ones that these people are going through on TV. Like, let's be real. That woman, I can't believe I heard that woman say that. And then the other lady, like, yeah, I had 5 of them too. Like, what's shit? What, you want to compare body counts? You want to compare body counts? That's how they literally it's about to get to that, where they're comparing body counts. That's freaking ridiculous. All right, so before we move on to our next situation here, special shouts to everybody that jumped into the chat. Make sure y'all like, share, do all that kind of stuff. We are on the road to 10K. So we need to get to 10K. We only got a set amount of time to do it. And if you'd like to support the show, make sure you send super chats in if you want to get them read. If you want to just support the efforts of the show, which is sponsored by Freeman Services, Fair Chance Employment and Technology Company. You can always buy some merch. Go to www.freeman, that's FREEMAN, SVCS.org/shop. See what we got in there, hats, all types of merch. And we're about to come out with some brand new products for the summertime, okay? So, nonetheless, guys, we're moving to this next story because I'm just too through with y'all. I had 5 of them. Oh, for real? I had 5 too, shit. I don't even know. And speaking of, and this is actually kind of funny. Speaking of things that might take your life, this one is kind of interesting. Kind of like I wasn't expecting it. Let's just say that. I wasn't expecting it. Check this out. So the thing you need to watch out for now, blueberries. Blueberries. I love blueberries. I love them in my pancakes. I like them in my yogurt. Hell, I love blueberry ice cream. I like blueberry muffins. I like blueberries. So when I saw this story, I was upset. Blueberries are supposed to be a superfood. And now, hundreds of boxes of blueberries have been recalled due to a listeria outbreak. Now, I'm not a big Listerian scientist, right? But can we keep the food clean? Like, what is going on where every week some specific item on a shelf then broke out with a disease? It's like the food is having sex with each other and getting STDs and then spreading it amongst the rest of us. And I need y'all to understand, if you're a blueberry fan like myself, this means something. We got to protect the blueberries, man. So Alma Pack International, LLC, based out of Georgia, they issued a voluntary recall for 400 boxes of organic, that's supposed to be the shit that's good for you, right? Organic blueberries. Well, how's it organic if it's got a problem? Whatever. Organic blueberries, and FDA subsequently issued a Class 1 risk classification. Donald J. Plump, thanks for stopping in the chat over there. So, what I want y'all to understand is recalls happen after the problem. Just like when a car gets a part recalled, somebody then already blown up and got hurt or something. This is not beforehand. That means that there was already some stuff out there. A bunch of people got sick. And these are not small boxes of blueberries. These ain't the ones that you get when you go to the store, the little one that you can hold in your hand. No, with reasons. They could be used in a different food. So at this point, the blueberries are all over the place. So guys, just coming from Purge to BS, stay away from blueberry stuff for a little bit until this thing dies down. No pun intended. Because apparently they don't know where everything is. That could be contaminated. I hate to say it could be contaminated. But since we don't care about babies, like who cares about blueberries, right? Care about babies. All right, so what is listeria, guys? Because I didn't know what it was either. So listeria is a common microorganism that can be found in a natural environment, for example, in soil. And there are many factors that determine if somebody gets listeriosis, which is the infection. Normally, you got to eat the food. The number of bacteria resulting in infection and the amount of time before illness varies considerably. I guess it depends on the person, is what they're saying. And it can include fever, flu-like symptoms, headache, stiff neck, confusion, and loss of balance. So it doesn't sound like it's fatal, per se, or in a grand sense considered fatal. So if you're willing to take the chance, go ahead and keep eating your blueberries. You might get the flu you get flu berries. Okay? According to this. Flu-like symptoms, headache, stiff neck, confusion, and loss of balance. All things I experience when I first wake up. I'm a little confused, a little bit of loss of balance. Neck is a little stiff. And a lot of times, I have a headache. So there you go. Listeria, blueberries. I'll be honest with you. Be careful, but I ain't staying away from the blueberries. If it ain't gonna hurt me. Ain't nothing. Let my stomach acid eat it up. Let's see what happens. Let my stomach acid eat it. Well, the early symptoms of this listeria thing will just look like fevers and body aches. So you might not even know if you have it. Take some Tylenol, drink some orange juice. I don't know. Do whatever. But I don't think I'm going to be able to stay away from blueberries for very long because I do like blueberries, especially blueberry muffins. With a good coffee, with a Cafe Bustelo. Oh, my God. Ain't saying that. So anyway, let me get to my next piece, which is, I think it might be our last story. Hold on. Special shouts to Jim stopping in the chat there as well. So guys, give me a second here. I gotta make sure I got through it all. So we're gonna get to it. I know they want to talk about it. And I know they want to talk about Diddy. I know they want to touch on Diddy. And we're going to touch on Diddy in 1 second. Pause, though. Pause. All right, let's see what we got here. So we're doing this one. All right, I'm a pause for the cause here. Make sure I got my special shouts to my man, No Captivity with Freezy jumping in the chat over there. Freezy, thanks for stopping in, man. You got to come purge the BS with me sometime, man. We're gonna definitely have to do it. Definitely. But special shouts to that man right there. Make sure you go subscribe to Freezy's channel over there. That's No Captivity with Freezy. Make sure you check him out. He's got a lot of good content over there. Much appreciate you stopping in, bro. So we got to talk about it, guys. We got to, because it's the headline. Diddy did not go all the way down. And so celebrities are speaking out. Now everybody's got something to say. Everybody was pretty quiet during the trial, though. I'll say that. Anybody said shit. They was like, look, as long as he don't bring my name up, I ain't gonna say nothing. But Lil Boosie Badass has decided to speak on the not guilty verdicts. He did get 2 guilties, but we're going to talk about that in 1 second. But I'm going to let you hear Boosie. Make sure you hit that like button if you're just chilling in the chat.
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. Like, and I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, you know, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this shit for hip-hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, you know. And people always, Boosie was on Diddy's side of one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who been in my kid's position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child. So all y'all was like, no, I'm thinking about them damn cheering, man.
Cheering?
I feel he was guilty of nothing, you know, nothing but domestic violence, you know.
He was.
But the court spoke, man, and man, I'm happy that dude children, man. I know his feeling right now, bro. I'm just happy for them children, man. So, you know, Diddy, sit your ass down somewhere. That's what you need to do. Grab Stevie J and your children and get the fuck on.
Now that is real. That is real. Now here's the thing. I hear what Boosie's saying, and I understand what he's saying. He's worrying about the fact that at the end of the day, Diddy has a family. And we followed this case from the very, very beginning on this show. Every step of the way. From the raids to when he was chilling in Miami, he was still at the beach, and I was like, why didn't they go pick him up? We've gone over this a number of times, and at the end of it, here we sit. This man went to a trial, right? But before they gave him the trial, they gave us that video. They gave us that video. And it was almost as if, and this is just in my opinion, it was almost as if they gave us the video so we would want him to pay for the actions we saw in the video. And most people did. I don't think I've heard anybody, not a one, say that they were proud of what they saw, would overstayed the damn statute of limitations on the criminal side of that, and they couldn't charge him with it. So it was almost like they wanted him to pay for it, but they couldn't make him pay for it. Society wanted him to pay for it. Women wanted him to pay for it. Men wanted him to pay for it. Fathers of daughters wanted him to pay for it. But there was no payment to be made there. Why? He paid her $30 million. And they overstayed the statute of limitations. So it should have never come out, to be honest. But on top of that, they let it come out because they knew that they had a weak-ass case. And they needed the court of public opinion, the people, could sway the folks into feeling that anger that they wanted for him to be paid back for the Cassie video. If you've watched this channel enough time, I never liked that case. I didn't like that they brought this whole thing about baby oil up and all this kind of stuff. All of it just seemed like older people doing nasty shit to me, to which I don't believe is my business, to be honest. If he's not tying people down and all that kind of stuff, I don't really, you get to a certain point in life where maybe regular sex is not even good enough and you just start thinking crazy shit because you got money and power. That's kind of how I feel about Diddy. But I don't believe that he had a criminal organization that was like running guns and drugs and supplying. It wasn't that. And that's the kind of stuff you get RICO charges for. So the case was weak for that. People, and they had sex. So we just spent months, a year or so, with all of that, FBI raids, kicking indoors, all of that, for them to just say Diddy was nasty. And that's it. And you know what I think it is? Because right now, so many people are like, no, he should go down. There's only two reasons that you're saying that. One is you don't know the law at all. You just don't have an idea of how charges and definitions work. So you just want him to pay. You don't even realize that the stuff they were charging with him was not what they should have charged him with in the first place. And that's also how he got off. You get the wrong charges, then at the end, you end up with mistrials and shit. I knew something was up when they downgraded the charges. And I'll tell you, I said it on the show. Anybody that's watched the show enough times will know I have covered this thing the whole time and been on point the whole time. And y'all didn't want to listen to me. It wasn't about whether or not I like Diddy. I don't like Diddy. He hasn't done shit for me. Now, maybe for the culture by putting out some of these other artists. But even that was on the backs of the talent of those artists. So I could care less. I don't know his kids like Boosie does, so I could care less. I'm looking at the evidence. I'm looking at what the law is saying. And in the world that a lot of us think that we live in, because he was black, he should have gone down. Just because he was a black man with money, he was supposed to go down. It's not how it works, y'all. Some shit you got to actually prove. Some shit, the legal system, if you don't have the right evidence in front of them or it gets suppressed, it's going to get thrown out. I've seen people beat murder charges where they did commit that act, but because of some legal loophole, they went home. So here's where I'm starting to understand. If you looked at the stuff objectively, in most cases were complicit and willing to do nasty shit. We can say what we want, but I'm gonna tell you right things. You might be having but at that point, I'm fighting. You gonna have to kill me, bro. It's not gonna be, I'm scared of what you might do if I say no. No, we're gonna find out what you're gonna do if I say no, because we fighting, yo. And it's situations like that that made it very tough to prove that case when he wasn't restraining people and locking them in spaces. Once you take that away, then it's like, okay, well, what are we talking about here? We talking about some X-video shit. Basically, they just making content. At that point, they just doing OnlyFans. At that point, they just doing fetish stuff. At that point. So it was never a strong case. What it was they wanted him to pay for that damn Cassie video. And he got away with that. He did. He was definitely guilty of that shit. And they never pressed no charges. And it's like they needed him to feel the pain of that. So they tried to take his whole life away with charges that didn't really line up correctly, just so he could be exposed as a nasty older dude now that liked to watch his girl get done up by escorts and pee all in her mouth. Like, it's nasty, but is it illegal? I don't think so. Not that part, but apparently flying people in is. And we learned this a while ago. Can't fly them in no more, fellas. Sorry. Diddy, a lot of people keep getting in trouble for flying people in and doing it to them when they get there. So either they got the local lady Stop with the flying in. This is problematic because 10 years from now, when you make it big, all of a sudden now you're in jail until sentencing. Sentencing is in October, so I know that would suck. I think they're going to give him a bond. They just can't. They couldn't give it to him the first day. There was too much going on with the public being outside. They were not going to give him a bond that day. But give it about 2 weeks. They'll do a bond review. He might get out and be at home until sentencing. They'll put him on the box. For those who don't know what the box is, it's the ankle monitor. They'll put him on the box. They'll put some provisions on his thing, and they might send his ass home. But at best, the crimes that he was found guilty of, he's not going to do no life in prison for that. He's not. Shit. You go to court, they'll be like, you're facing 70 years in jail. And they give you 90 days probation or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So what the maximum time that you're being convicted of? But other than that, especially if you don't have a long history like of violent felonies, so you're not considered a danger to the public, as they would say, they're going to send his ass home. That's all I'm saying, man. But here's what I really think. Anger with Diddy from an internal place. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Some of us went through abusive situations or have had a family member go through an abusive situation in a relationship, right? And the persons who abused us or abused others that never went down for that shit in our lives, it permeates and it sits inside. And then when we see a situation like this, we want blood. We want somebody to pay for something that somebody did to us that they're not going to pay for. Because we saw ourselves in the abuse. We remembered our own abuse by watching Cassie get abused. And so because of that, Diddy became the person who was the sacrificial lamb for our outrage. There was women who were all about, hey, I am Cassie. I am Cassie. And I'm not taking away from the goofiness of that one video, but are you Cassie? Are you willing to have everybody doing you and peeing all over you and all that without having an issue? And she walked away from this. Let's not forget, Cassie walked away from it. The feds brought her back in. She was going to live her little life and with her 30 million. She didn't care that much. That's what I got from it. She didn't even care that much. But they needed to bring Diddy down. I heard that it was because of something that like he had sued the folks that did the Ciroc thing with him. I don't know if that's the truth, but I don't even care. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the public outrage was based on we wanted him to pay for what we saw in the Cassie video. And that wasn't what he was on trial for. And because a lot of Americans are just so distracted that we can't be objective like that and be like, yo, they should have got him for that, but that's not what this is about. And what this is about, that I don't think they're going to get him for that because that's not what this was. The man was nasty. And some of y'all nasty too. Some of y'all doing some nasty shit right now. Some of y'all licked a butt last night, right in the crack. Some of y'all, somebody on the internet right now, just last night, straight up the crack with their tongue. Throwing baby oil all over the place. Who knows what you were doing, but that's your business. You see what I'm saying? That's your business. I'm not going to be mad at you. So I can't be mad at Diddy for the sex stuff. I'm mad about that Cassie video. I had to be honest with myself. I'm mad about the Cassie video. I think he should have had a punishment for that, which would have sufficed. And because he didn't get punished for that, we want him to pay for something. We want him to get a consequence because we don't want anybody to walk away from that and feel like they can just keep on walking. I don't even want people in the public to think you can do that. I don't want men in general to think that you can whoop a woman's ass up and down a hallway and drag her around like a rag doll and you could just keep it walking because you got a couple dollars in your pocket. It sets a bad precedent. You see what I'm saying? So that's what they wanted. Somebody snitched on Diddy. Somebody swatted them, basically, is what happened. They came in there, they got them tapes. Then all of a sudden they got the tapes, they got the Cassie tape, they got all these things, but at the end of the day, it was just him being nasty. The dildos, and I don't know, I guess we can't, can we say that? I mean, this is not a kid show. The dildos, the toys, the oil, all of that stuff was sexual stuff, but he wasn't tying people up and oiling them up and shoving stuff in them. That's where you get to the gray area. I didn't hear anybody really say that he forced himself upon them. I heard some people say he was mean, but nobody said, man, it's great. He grabbed me by the coochie, you know what I'm saying, and pushed me into a box and tied me up and told me I can't come out until, 3 days later after they done tore every hole apart. Honestly, in a weird sense, he was kind of taking care of folks. He was giving them IVs and stuff. He knew they were thirsty, but there was no locked doors. So if you really wanted to fight, you would have fought. And that's why I never liked that case. Because it was going with the idea that grown-ass adults don't have the ability to lash out when they disagree with something. All because of the possibility that a person might be mad. So you're accepting that to a degree. When you're like, yo, I don't want to piss this guy off because he holds the keys to my career, and you do something that's a little risque, you did have a choice. Your choice was between, the fame and money and, being shat upon on your chest in Dubai, whatever it is. But it's still your choice. And that's why I feel like people were just mad at Diddy because of their own internal, undealt with, unhealed. This is male and female, because don't get it twisted. There's some abusive ass women out there too, and they got a dude that's on some I don't hit women type of stuff, so he just gets his ass whooped all the time. And I've seen this. So people's in it, even with the Kid Cudi thing. They were like, yeah, we think he did it, but we didn't see him do anything. We don't have no footage of him doing it. Like, what was he, prowling the house? First of all, I don't understand why a dude who lets multiple dudes on the control thing, I get it. But what I'm saying is, Diddy ain't do that to y'all. So we could be and should people that are celebrities, but nobody else was going down with him like he was the only person at the damn party. We waited for every name. You thought Jay-Z was going to be mentioned. You thought Kanye was going to be mentioned. You thought J-Lo was going to be mentioned. You thought all of these things. We built it all up in our heads, and it just came down to he shouldn't have flown nobody in. So we wanted them to pay. That's all it was. We saw that Cassie video. I, as a father of a daughter, I saw that video. I was pissed. I wanted to beat up Diddy that day. I remember when I saw that video, me and my boys was on the podcast, we was freaking out. Like, where is her family at? They should be whooping his ass right now. So let's start being honest with ourselves, guys. This man is a nasty, nasty, nasty man. But is he a mob boss? I don't think so. I think he liked freaky stuff, and maybe he couldn't perform as well as these escorts for his lady, and his lady they were saying that he was being charged with. He did some other shit, and they should have charged him with some other shit, but they didn't do that. They tried to make it a whole criminal enterprise. A criminal enterprise of what? Baby oil and sex? Between him, his lady, and a couple other consenting adults? You're going to have a hard time proving that case with all these nasty-ass people that live in America. Some of them jurors probably licked the butt crack the night before they made the decision on the verdict. All in the crack. Nasty. Just doing stuff in the privacy of their own bedrooms. And so who am I to judge them on the fact that they got crumbs on their upper lip? If that's what they want to do. Purple Groovy, thank you for stopping in the chat. This is what I'm trying to say. Purple Groovy put in the chat that Cassie could have refused to let people pee in her mouth. I have to agree with that. I have to agree. I want to believe that you can be coerced to do that, but you're going to need at least a weapon at my head or someone's head before it's even a thought that you might get away with this shit. If it's not something I'm trying to do. You see what I'm saying? You would have to literally tie me down, affix me to something. You understand what I'm saying? And even then, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to be turning. I'm going to be doing spin kicks. It's going to be a problem. You are not going to pee in my face, mouth, or on my body without me being pissed off by being pissed on and lashing out at everybody around. Even if y'all whoop my ass when it's all said and done, I'll be a ass-whooped, non-pissy person in the corner. Bruised up but not peed upon. And still I rise. You understand what I'm saying? And that part always, you want to make it about him, but like no fighting back though? Well, he was going to mess my career up, but no fighting back, no fuck singing. You're not peeing in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? If that's what it takes to do this, I'm retiring as of today. I'm done. I'm not doing it no more. And that's how a lot of these artists and stuff, they end up disappearing. You see them, they hot at one moment. They were in the studio somewhere and somebody asked them to do some pretty nasty stuff and they were like, yo, I'm not with it. And then you never hear from them again. Happens all the time. So I'm just going to be honest, guys. We got to allow the court system to do what it does. If the court system was this super biased, racist thing, then he should be in jail for life right now. So we can't even go with that. It was a bad case. It was a bad case. And what he did do wrong, they missed the statute of limitations on that. And what they did in this case was they proved that Diddy is nasty as shit, which we all knew for many years. And, in my opinion, that Cassie can't be trusted. And a lot of women can't be trusted. Because, I ain't gonna lie, guys get into situations and women get into situations where they do some stuff on a night that would be kind of questionable the next morning. Get a little alcohol in your system, you're in Miami, whatever it is, right? And you do something that's a little questionable. Why isn't Cassie being charged with something? She was involved. She made the phone calls. She set up the people he flew in. But she got no charges. So that's dangerous. That sets a dangerous precedent right there when you obviously, the man wasn't by himself doing all this shit, and you brought her in as a witness, basically as a snitch, and meanwhile, she was the one kind of orchestrating the stuff and got no charges. So, guys, watch out there. Because there's 1,000 more Cassies out there. And I don't mean that it'll be to these lengths. I mean, there are people out there that will do shit with you on Monday, regret it on Tuesday, and have your ass in jail on Wednesday. Because that's what I think. I think Cassie did the shit at the time she was doing it because that's what she thought she was doing. But because she got older, and she probably still had the taste of piss in her mouth after a few days, and that probably gets annoying, she started saying, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And she regretted it, like most people would. I'm sure I would. And at the end of it, she tried to move on with life, and life didn't let her move on. Somebody wanted him to pay for that. I don't know if it was her. I'm going to be honest. She got $30 million. She might not have needed him to do anything else. Even her, in the court, she said something about like she still kind of likes him or something like that. Something along the lines of saying that she don't hate this man. And then instead of them saying, you know what, that makes sense, they were like, it's Stockholm Syndrome. No, maybe it was. She was getting it in. And like most of us, she got tired after a while. She got tired of getting plugged up. And if he's only doing his thing in the corner, he's got more energy than her. He's not the one losing the energy. She is. So she got tired of it. And that was the end of it. But we brought it up because some of us have been abused. Some of us have been abused coming up, and we saw an opportunity to hate an abuser. Obvious abuser. We had the video, so there was no question that this guy is an obvious abuser. And we lashed out. And I say we, not necessarily just including myself. Because I'm telling you, the court case thing was its own thing. But I was pissed when I saw that Cassie video. Not gonna lie. You see what I'm saying? I was very upset, as were most of us. As a matter of fact, I don't know anybody who came afterwards and said, "Oh man, it was awesome what I saw in the Cassie video." Everybody felt that he deserved a punishment for that opportunity to like say that thing is what he's going to pay for. And that wasn't what that case was, guys. They sold it to you that way by continuing to talk about Cassie and continuing to show you that damn video. But at the end of the day, they didn't build a good case. It was a shitty case. And I wonder if they did this on purpose to just embarrass. And technically they got a conviction on this, so that would still go with the same percentages here. But yeah, seriously, the feds normally are pretty good with their cases. Why did they drop the ball on this one? Because it wasn't about sending him away forever. It was about embarrassing him. Nobody mess with, ain't nobody gonna go to a Diddy party no time in the future. Diddy needs to do exactly what Lil Boosie just said. Pack up whenever that time comes, when they let you up out of here. Now, the problem is he's got to wait till sentencing, even if he does get out on bond. You can't leave the country when you're on a pre-sentencing bond. But once that's done, Diddy, get the hell out of here. Take your family, take whatever money you got left, sell all the studio equipment, or whatever you got to do, but just get out of here and go live somewhere else. Let your hair get gray, put on some big glasses, let nobody recognize you, and you just go live the rest of your life out. And that'll be punishment enough for you, because the spotlight was Diddy's drug. So having to live on this planet without being in the spotlight, even as a conviction, even as a defendant, he was still in the spotlight. We're going to stop talking about him, and he'll be forgotten. He'll be forgotten in a few years. We won't even be like, remember Diddy? Oh shit, whatever happened to him? Give it a couple years. We won't even care no more. He'll start doing, praise and worship in Somalia or something like that. I don't know. But just get out of here, Diddy. Get out of here. When the time comes, don't worry about us. We'll be fine. You can leave us. We'll be fine. The culture will be fine. Take your family. You get the hell out of here and go get some help. If you have anger issues, go get some help. But you need to get the hell out of here. Because these people want you to pay for that first crime. And if you do not pay, they will come back again and they will find a way to make you pay. That's how it works. You get off of this one, you get the hell out of here. If you don't, you got what's coming to you, because they're going to find a way to make you pay. They're going to find a way. So I got to understand, and I need y'all to understand, there's a difference between revenge and justice. And they were trying to go for revenge. They were so mad that he got away with that shit in that video. They needed something. And so in some cases, people would be happy. He's still got 2 convictions. He's not 100% free. Nope. They wanted blood. They wanted him to go to that jail and be there forever. But for the stuff that they brought the case on, you weren't going to get that, guys. It was a shitty case. And the job. So before we start throwing the next person on fire, right? Before the next celebrity, I want you guys to understand what I saw here. We are an unhealed group of people. And it's only because we don't want to be honest with ourselves about the BS that we've been through personally and how we lash out and project that upon others. Successful in the first place. Some of us get off on watching rich moguls, rich CEOs get unalived, like the United Healthcare guy, or get taken down off their throne, right? The objective. Then what's the objective? What is it? We just don't want nobody to survive. We don't want nobody to be successful. It's a crabs in the barrel thing, right? Now I'm gonna be honest with you. If people would just be honest with themselves about where this shit comes from, why don't you care? Why didn't anybody care when Tory Lanez got almost unalived in the damn jail? You see what I'm saying? 14 times that guy got hit, and we didn't give a damn. We talked about that shit for maybe 12 hours. Meg Thee Stallion got no charges. Ain't nothing happened with that. And here we are. We don't care. We don't care. It's good cinema. Just like Love Island and all of the rest of these shows that they're about to make that are all going to be AI, and after a while, the actors will just be photo models where they take pictures of them and then they input those pictures into a system generated through the automation, and the shows will just be automated versions of these people. Hell, we'll end up with Puffy in the show. They'll do a virtual making the band again. And I guarantee this. You know what? As crazy as we are, we say we don't like Diddy. If they did another making the band, people would watch it. And I don't think y'all are ready to be honest and have a real conversation about it. Reality TV exists because enough people don't want. I can't watch you for 5 freaking hours because I got shit to do. You see what I'm saying? I can give you 30 minutes or so. Like, it's hard enough for me to watch a show that's as long as my show. 2 hours of time, you know how much shit I get done in 2 hours? So if we're literally investing our time in watching other people's lives, how much time are we investing in our own lives? That's the question. If you're not investing no time in your life, that's why you like reality TV. If you're not investing any time in getting better, that's why you like watching these chicks fighting shit on TV that's supposed to be pretty women. Watching this because it makes us feel like our lives, hey, I'm not that bad. Look at this mother. Right? You see what I'm saying? I know I'm not doing nothing, but look at this one. It makes it almost like you justify your own crap by watching somebody else do some crap. And so this Diddy situation on some bullshit. Like a woman said something. They never actually had footage, never really proved anything. And they went to jail because it was her word versus his. And the judge believed her that day. There's that anger. But we're all projecting it at these people whose lives will exist with or without us. Meanwhile, not focusing on our own lives. Because if we were focused on our own lives, we'd be paying attention to the tax changes. Because that shit does mean something. And I'm going to get into that on the weekend show because it is Thursday. And I'm not doing politics today. I didn't feel like it. All right. Politics is tiring because Trump is always saying something. Some stuff means something. Some of it doesn't. But the stuff we want to talk about is always the controversial part. And it really is. And I don't get paid for this shit. You know, I mean, some of y'all do support and I appreciate it. But this is not what pays me. I do this because I like having good conversation and I want conversations, you know, more non-biased, kind of in the middle, let's deal with the facts kind of shit. I try to come from that direction. I try to remove my personal feeling about whoever I'm looking at and just look at the situation. And that's the most important part. You got to say nothing about it. They were abused as children by an uncle or something, right? And they want any abuser to go under the jail, regardless of what level of abuse happened. Financial abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, they want them all to go. So when they see an opportunity like this Diddy one, they jump on it. They wanted to make Diddy the devil, but the devil had friends. See what I'm saying? The devil was a fallen angel, but he wasn't down there by himself. Think about it. A lot of folks came with him. No, I'm telling you. Al Bond got a great idea. Drop off some participants and some baby oil. See if they can escape Diddy for 24 hours or something. You know what? I'm not even going to joke about that because every time they even smell baby oil, they freak out. So for y'all, that's crazy, but I feel for you. But yeah, I think what we need to keep in mind, went to jail or not. I wanted to see justice served. And when I saw the evidence and how they were presenting it, I said, no, I don't see it. And I was right in the first day of case as a lawyer. You start with your least productive witness and build up to the most, or you start with the most and come back down to the least. That's the normal way of doing it. Or you start with the strongest one and break it down. Cassie was supposed to be their strongest one. So when I saw that, I said, if that's the strongest one and they're breaking down from there, then this is going nowhere. And that's exactly what happened. So it wasn't about how I feel about Diddy or Cassie. It was about the case, which smart people can be objective to. And it goes against your whole theory about the court system against black people. So forget that thing. Then we could say, well, he had money, he paid off a juror. Did he? If you heard the same instructions about what was required to come up with that conviction, would you have convicted without your own personal bias about abusers or what you saw in that Cassie video? No, most of us can't do that shit. And that's why we can't serve jury duty. They ask you right off the top, hey, have you ever been abused before? Yes. Okay, can't have you. You already got a problem. You already got an axe to grind, as they would say. So, telling you guys, man, we got to reel it in. There's people that are more mad about who got booted off of a reality TV show than they are mad about who got booted off of Medicare. Think about it. There are more people concerned about who got booted off of a reality show than they are concerned about people who got booted off of SNAP benefits and booted. You see what I'm saying, right? Programming. And once you understand that there is programming, then you can refuse to be programmed about something that starts trending. Now everybody starts to form an opinion, and now here we go. And that's what they did with the Diddy shit. If you were male and said, yeah, I don't think that he should be found guilty on this, they called you a misogynist and all this other stuff. But it wasn't that. They just didn't present the case. Diddy going to jail ain't going to remove the fact that your uncle did what your uncle did, or that your babysitter did what your babysitter did, or that your parents did whatever they did if they abused. None of it goes away because Diddy goes away. And we got to stop doing that. We got to stop taking these celebrity situations and personalizing it to our regular ass life. Because in those situations, hopefully, we would see justice. If I was just doing a lot of nasty stuff with women and I ended up in court, I would hope that the court system would be able to see, hey, this dude's just nasty. He's not a criminal per se. He's just a nasty dude. And that's nasty. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to see no more of these images. I can only imagine what kind of things are still stuck in these people's heads after what they had to hear in this case. All for him to just get in trouble for flying people in to have sex with Cassie when she made the call. I'm not even gonna get. Y'all think that was a good case? Smart people don't. Smart people don't. Smart people are able to be smart. There's a bunch of idiots out there that just wanted Diddy to pay. There's a bunch of them. They just wanted him to pay for what they saw in that video. And that was it. And they never tried. But what you can win at is your own life. Stop focusing on these reality TV people. Screw them. They're getting the bag while you're getting, get over it. We, the people, are the ones that have to stand up. Diddy's going to be fine. Even if he was in jail, he was going to be fine. He had more than enough money and more than enough support. But what do you have? Do you have more than enough money? Do you have more than enough support? You don't. Okay? Like I said, these folks was more upset about who got kicked off a reality show than who got kicked off of SNAP and Medicare or Medicaid. Whichever one, you know what it is. I bet y'all ain't even call no senators, and I didn't even think about it. Worried about Love Island and Diddy. We're screwed. So anyway, I'm going to give my shouts because I got some shit to do. Got to get up out of here. I want to thank you guys for stopping on in. Parent songs to the folks. All right, we got Manic Mannin. I think I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for stopping in. Purple Groovy 69, of course, stopping in. We had Shars stopping in. Jack 263 stopped through. No Captivity with Freezy was here. Speaking of which, I wonder if Freezy's about to do a live. I might redirect to him. See if Al and IMZ. They are my literal mod squad. They make sure that y'all stay in line. And I haven't had a lot of problems. Every once in a while, somebody slides in, but even the trolls that come in here normally get their shit together. Like Donald J. Plump, he figured out what the line was and doesn't really cross it, and we have fun now. So that's what I like to see. I like to see when people are doing the right thing, talking to each other, having real communication, and like building, because that's all we're going to do. But if we keep focusing on Diddy and what Diddy had to do, then we're never going to get anywhere. We are never going to get anywhere doing it that way. We got to focus on each other. The regular people, the ones that's working, the ones that's raising their families, the ones that are actually getting hit the hardest with the newest changes. We got to focus on us. But the problem is we don't like each other, because the second somebody's doing better than you for some prior bad act that they weren't even charging him, and we got the nerve to act like we're surprised that this verdict went in the direction. It's disingenuous, and that's disrespectful. And that, my friends, is the bullshit. And we out. Peace. See y'all Saturday, though.